Greetings YouTube, it is the Salty Sailing Carolinian back with another video. In this video I'm going to discuss my recent adventure of going skydiving, what made me want to do it, and how it was. So, what made me want to go skydiving? Well, alcohol played a bit of a role in it. I was at one of my grandparents' houses back in October and my Papa Jim told me that that's something that he would like to do if he ever had a chance to do a tandem jump and skydive, which I found really interesting because he's a bit older. I thought, wow, that's inspiring. So then afterwards, I was drinking, as I do from time to time, and as I'm doing right now. So I was drinking and I was watching YouTube videos that showed people skydiving. Among them, two of the videos included celebrities I liked. The first video was Will Smith and he was describing his experience. The second video was Tom Cruise and James Corden and their skydiving adventure. So it goes by about a week and then I'm thinking about skydiving still and thought this would be a good thing to do to start facing some fear. About a couple of weeks later, I mentioned to my friend Kayla that I might try to go skydiving within the next month. After that, I then told my step-grandmother, my Gigi, that I was debating skydiving. Both Kayla and my Gigi were very positive and they practically offered encouraging words. Gigi had mentioned that I could do it at her place, maybe, or like somewhere around her place so that my Papa Jim, her, and maybe some family could see and take some photos. During the week of November 7th to the 11th was really when I couldn't hide it from my parents anymore, so I finally told them that, hey, I was debating going skydiving. And they were both very positive about it, and they did not try to convince me not to go skydiving. On November 11th, I scheduled my adventure to go skydiving on November 12th. I then let the following people know in this order: my friend Kayla, my parents, and my Gigi. I scheduled it while I was in Houston for a little weekend trip/drive. Gigi let me know that she was going to be in Austin and invited me to join her, but I let her know that I was going towards Houston to skydive. And maybe later, after it, I would see if I had time that I could go to Austin and visit her. I also made sure that I got the video and photo package because I wanted proof that I had done it and I wanted to be able to relive it sometime and post it to social media and YouTube. During the day on November 11th, I went to the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library. This was the third presidential library I had been to within a month and the third one I had been to ever. On my way down to Texas, I had went to the William J. Clinton Presidential Library and the George W. Bush Presidential Library during the weeks prior and while I was traveling to Texas and while I was in Texas. Some other family members, I was able to let them know during that evening. However, I told them not to let my grandma and papa in Raleigh know, and that I would let them know at some point when I determined I wanted to. So later on, before I went to sleep, I was having trouble getting to sleep, even though I knew I had to wake up early in the morning. I had maybe about 4 hours of sleep on me the next day because of it. So I was nervous. So I decided to make a video talking about facing fears and talking about what I was about to do the next day. Pretty soon after uploading my video, I posted it to one of my social media accounts that I have close friends and family on. My friend Kayla commented soon after that post asking to please text her as soon as I landed and to have fun. That meant a lot to have a friend who values me enough to want me to make sure that I texted them back so that I could land safely. That really means a lot. Shows how much she appreciates me. Anyways, I then was about to go to sleep, but then I was having trouble finding a song. I was trying to think of a song that. There's a bug flying. Anyways, I was having trouble finding a song that I thought would be good to have stuck in my head prior to skydiving. The first song that came to mind was Free Fallin' by Tom Petty. Whether it was the Tom Petty version or my favorite cover version by John Mayer. I thought, yeah, that would be a good song. However, it would be too common to have stuck in your head while going skydiving, I thought. So then I thought maybe a song by Rush. So Tom Sawyer or YYZ or Closer to the Heart or The Garden or really just any Rush song or any Primus song or any Iron Maiden song. Then I remembered I like the Foo Fighters. So I thought maybe their song Learn to Fly could be the song that I listened to prior to going skydiving. On November 12th at 5 a.m., I was awakened to my hotel alarm clock playing the radio, and sure enough, Tom Petty Free Falling was playing. So I was like, yeah, that's the song to get in my head, and I thought that was pretty ironic that song I thought would be a good song to have stuck in my head, and then that song wakes me up that morning prior to me going for a skydive and getting to experience a free fall. So I got out of bed and I had a quick bite to eat, and then I drove to Skydive Spaceland Houston. I went in around 7:30 a.m. While I was there, I had to hurry up and go to a class where they explained what the documents I signed were and how they limited my rights thanks to me signing them. And basically, they limit my rights in regards to suing if something bad were to happen. Then I saw what I had to do during the skydive and what was expected of me. I had to wait a while due to the weather, but the weather was windy. However, luckily, the military has made me comfortable with hurry up and wait. So, I'm very patient. Periodically, one of the staff members was letting me know the deal as to why they weren't doing the skydives yet because of the weather and the winds and turbulence, and that because it was a safety issue, which made me more confident that this facility wouldn't be putting me in an unsafe condition and risking my life. Even though technically I was risking my life by going on a tandem jump. Anywho. So about from 7:30 until about 1:30 is when I was waiting, but at about 1:30 p.m. it was actually looking like I was going to go up. So I was then getting ready and I was putting on my suit. I was also putting on the tandem harness equipment. I even met the videographer and the instructor for me. The instructor would be harnessed to me. And I also had an altimeter right here on my left hand, which would tell me the altitude as I was free falling and when I was up. When I knew that I would be boarding the plane soon to go up, I texted Kayla, my parents, and Gigi in that order to let them know that I was about to go up and that I would text them when I landed. Now to the actual event. I hopped on board a plane with no one that I knew, and I got harnessed to the instructor. While on board the plane, we took off. At this point, this is when in my head I was getting excited, but also getting nervous because it was getting real, and showtime was going to happen soon. I would either land safely or I would go splat and hit the ground hard, and people would be cleaning up my goo. I then saw the first group of solo skydivers. they were jumping from a lower altitude. And when I saw this and how fast they disappeared from my sight in the plane, I thought that was some cool stuff, but I was still getting a bit nervous. However, I had the right mentality in my mind. I wasn't going to give up and allow myself to get psyched where I would turn into a wimp and chicken out and decide not to do this. Then I was going through my mind and I was like, why am I doing this? Because I was like, wow, we are really high up. It was then our turn to jump out of the plane. We didn't do any type of count or anything, or at least I didn't hear a count, and we jumped out and we began free falling. And I arched like this. I'm going to describe how we were supposed to do it. Basically, you arch, which helps you out while you're free falling. And basically, like, you're arched facing the ground with your stomach. And you're looking down, seeing yourself getting closer to the ground. We jumped from about 14,000 feet. I didn't feel the tap on my shoulder that was going to tell me that I could let go of the harness and start waving and throwing out any signs that I wanted to. For example, rock on or peace. But yeah, I didn't know that. Otherwise, I probably would have done peace, love. I probably would have done rock on. Then I realized they wanted me to check my altimeter because they were pointing towards theirs. So I looked and I saw that we were getting close to 6,000 feet. I was surprised at how fast we had gone down. We were traveling at about 120 miles an hour in our free fall portion. And then once the altimeter hit 6,000 feet or around there, I was able to pull the parachute canopy to open it. We then had about 5 minutes of gliding and flying with the parachute open. I was also able to learn how to handle the parachute and fly it myself. During this, I was feeling a little sick, which apparently is common if you have ever been prone to having motion sickness. When I was on my ship, the USS Vela Gulf, we would go out to sea and I would get seasick sometimes. And I remember when I was young, I would get car sick. So yeah, I was getting a bit motion sickness. When we landed, I was very excited and thrilled and emotional that I had finally done that. But the first thing was a major thing on my mind. Text Kayla. And then text my parents and Gigi to let them know that I had landed safely on the ground. So I texted Kayla, my parents, and Gigi in that order to let them know that I had landed. I would say I definitely want to do this again and try to get licensed so that I can skydive on my own sometime instead of doing tandem. And perhaps maybe even learn how to do a tandem jump on the other side so that way I can test family members and friends and see how much they trust me and whether they trust me enough to go tandem jump with me where I am the experienced skydiver. I then took off everything and waited for my video to be uploaded to the flash drive I would be given. And then I was able to watch my video and I really enjoyed it. And it was incredible to me. This was an amazing experience and I highly recommend everyone to go skydiving at least once in your life. You're not going to regret it. The view, in my opinion, beat a lot of the sunsets, sunrises, and even seeing the galaxy on a clear night and all the stars when it's a clear night on a warship in the middle of the ocean. Thank you for watching my video. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see some more content from me. Cheers!